Thank you so much for being here this morning. I'm gonna come a little bit closer to you all so that you can see me. My name is Kat. I am a therapist as well as a yoga and meditation teacher. I am so incredibly thankful that I get to offer this space for all of you to recover, recuperate. So you all being able to make it here today. Just a few quick notes as we get started. Like Sujin said, you guys can choose if you want to have your cameras on or off. This is a community event, so sometimes it's nice to see everybody's faces, but if you feel more comfortable moving in your own space, cameras off, no worries at all. Okay. And to get started, today's practice is going to be a restorative yoga and meditation practice. And what that means is that it's going to be a slow-paced, really supported practice using a few different props. Okay. First, you have your yoga mat, and then you have a blanket of some kind. You can just grab something that you have nearby, fold it into a little rectangle. And then a pillow of some kind, a couch cushion, a yoga bolster, if you have that as well. So you can have this set up on your mat in just a moment. What we're gonna do is get started. So if you could arrange your props in this way, with the pillow going vertically on the center of your mat, and then a pillow draped across just the top half of it. And then we're going to start in a supported child's pose today. So go ahead and let's start to come onto the mats. And you'll just start at one end of the cushion and the bolster. And you'll have your knees to either corner of your pillow. Slowly feel the lengthening of your spine and your chest. You can kind of lift it up. And we're gonna reach the chest forward and just drape on top of your pillow, turning your face over to one side. And taking a moment to close the eyes. And so as you get set up and find a comfortable position, you might see me moving around. I'm going to be sharing a few poems and writings from some Asian American writers that really inspire me. And so you might see me shuffling and moving about. But I'm going to invite everybody to relax, to soften today. This event is intended to be a sanctuary from all of the exhaustion, all of the emotions, and all the difficulty that our community has been facing the past few weeks in particular, but really for a long time. And that almost needs no words because our bodies tell us. They tell us in the sensations of exhaustion. They tell us in the restlessness and agitation that we might feel in our minds, in our hearts. They tell us in the tightness of the chest and the dropping of the belly. And so today we're going to invite you to soften and to nourish. And at any point throughout today's practice, please, if you need a break, please feel empowered to take care of yourself in whatever way that means. That might be opening the eyes for a moment. It might be getting a glass of water. And as you recline in your child's pose, feel your whole body soften into your pillow. Let the pillow and the blanket support you and all of your weight. Today's event is inspired by the words of the incomparable Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. And he said, the most precious gift we can offer anyone is our attention. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. And today, each of you will be embracing your own mind, body, and heart. To give yourself this attention this morning is to say that my lived experience matters. To be here today is to say, I am inherently worthy and valuable just as I am. To spend this time, we are saying, I am deserving of rest. So in your child's pose, let's start to turn your head over to the other side and even out the neck, okay? And you can switch the position of your arms if something else is calling to your body at this time. And now I'm going to teach you a very simple breath technique to find a sense of release. We'll be breathing in for a count of 4 and then releasing the breath to twice as long, a count of 8. So let's give it a try together. So breathe in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathe out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue this breath at your own pace. You can choose to silently count in your mind if that's helpful. A deep and full in-breath, and then a soft and tender release of the out-breath. Starting to listen to the sound of your own breathing. Start to tune your attention a little bit more inward. Start to show up exactly as you are. Freeing yourself from anybody else's expectation of how you should be. And we'll take a couple more breaths here. And then from here, start to lift yourself up. We're going to move into a twist that's supported by the bolster or the pillow that you have, so you can keep your props exactly where they are. Just come up to a seat and bring your right hip right to the short edge of your pillow. Your legs will just zigzag in front of you. And as you breathe in, feel your chest get nice and long and tall. Start to turn your chest over to face your pillow, and exhale, release down into a twist. Bring the arms out to your sides, elbows wide. And if it's comfortable for your neck, you can turn your head all the way around and rest here. Okay. I won't face the other way. So I'll turn towards you just so that I can see everybody. But here, inviting your body to soften on the bolster. Feel the width of your shoulders. Start to breathe into the side of your rib cage.
And start to send the breath into any of those tight spaces in the body. And so if you feel that exhaustion from either this past week or the accumulation of everything that's happened, invite yourself to breathe it out with the breath.
Continue to stay with your soft body, releasing that tension. I'm so happy to be able to offer this over Zoom so it could reach so many people. But I do wish that I could come around and say hello to each one of you. Start to take just a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, start to peel yourself up, slowly moving gently, maybe even eyes closed. And we're going to move right into the second side. So go ahead and just spin yourself around. I'm going to turn my back to you all. Now the left hip is meeting the short edge of your pillow. Take an inhale to feel your spine get tall, the top of the head pressing up towards the sky. And as you breathe out, twist and turn that upper body towards the pillow and release it all the way down, turning the head all the way to look back over your left shoulder, reclosing the eyes. Allow the shoulders to pull back from the ears. Let the arms be heavy and releasing into the earth. And just simply following the rhythm of your breath, breathing it into an expanding rib cage and softening as you breathe out. Inviting softness all along the spine, from the top of the head all the way down the back to the tailbone. Slowing down your experience. And start to take one last breath in this twist shape.
And slowly start to lift your chest, walk your hands back for support. And we're gonna come up to a seated position. You can move your props off of your mat, just kind of have them next to you. Somewhere within reach, you can put that off to the side. Go ahead and grab your blanket, and we're gonna make a seat for your hips, especially if you find your knees sort of lifting up and the hips feeling tight. Go ahead and just fold it up into a little rectangle, however it works for you. And then you're gonna fold it up so that it forms this shape, a little seat with a good amount of thickness, maybe a couple inches here. And you're gonna place it underneath your seat so you can elevate your hips up a little bit higher. Crossing one shin in front of the other. Resting your hands wherever they feel comfortable. You can choose to close the eyes and soften the gaze. You can also choose to keep the eyes open and just drop your gaze down a little bit. And at the same time, start to find a lifting with the chest and a lengthening along the back body and the spine. Start to drop your chin to your chest and roll the ear to one shoulder. Take the head in a full circle all the way around. And start to massage out any tight spaces along the sides of the neck. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Start to drop into your body and notice what feels good. Feel free to change the direction of your circles, going opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Just move however it feels good to you. And then start to come back to center. And go ahead and start to bring your hands behind the back of the head. I like to do back of the palms to kind of cup the back of the skull. And then you can start to bring your elbows nice and wide, and you can bring your thumbs down to the sides of your neck and start to just massage the tight places there. You can do 2 thumbs at once. Or if you prefer one hand at a time, you can use your index finger and your thumb to just gently rub and massage one side of the neck. No. Start to let your body tell you what feels good. No. Nice neck, everybody. And so if you have one hand to the neck, go ahead and switch sides and do the other side. If you've got both going, you can start to move down into the shoulders even, back of the neck, gently lifting the base of the skull. And then when you're ready, go ahead and let the arms just fall by your sides. Inhale to lift the shoulders up to the ears. And then exhale, let them slide down your back. Inhale, lift up to the ears. Exhale, release.
2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, let it go. Last time, inhale. And exhale, release. Beautiful job. Start to switch the crossing of your legs. So take the other shin in front. Feel how that might feel a little bit funny, a little bit different. And then from here, start to bring your hands into fists. And we're going to start to squeeze and create tension. So harnessing all of that tension, that energy, maybe even a little bit of frustration and anger. You're going to squeeze it in. Take a deep breath in. And knowing that you don't have to hold it all by yourself, go ahead and breathe out and release. We're going to do that 2 more times. So squeeze your fingers in. You can even squeeze the elbows in close. Start to squeeze all of the muscles in your body. Harness all of that tension and energy. And send it out. One more time. Inhale, squeeze the fingers in. Breathe in deeply. Engage all of the muscles in your body. And exhale, let it all go. And for a moment, notice the waves of calm and release that ripple throughout your body. And just for a moment, take that in. When you're ready, gently blink open the eyes. And let's go ahead and start to come off of your blanket. You put it off to the side. You're going to straighten your legs out in front of you. Walk the feet a little bit wider than your hips. And lean back with the hands behind you. Go ahead and drop your knees over to the left so they zigzag to one direction. And then switch sides and drop them to the right. Start to move side to side as slow as you can go. Noticing how this really stretches out the sides of your hips, the IT band. And maybe once more on each side. And when you're ready, let's come into a tabletop position on our hands and shins. So here, you're going to come to the center of your mat. And you're going to come onto palms flat and shins behind you. Noticing if this feels a little bit sensitive on the knees, you can grab your blanket, unfold it to form a little bit of a cushion underneath. And when you're ready, spread the fingers wide. Press the massage fingers into the mat beneath you. Stack your shoulders over your wrists for some support and start to hug your belly and bottom rib cage up into your back body a little bit. Nice and long spine here. We're going to move through a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you breathe in, start to melt your belly down towards your mat as you lift your heart up, arching the back and imagining your whole back body forming the shape of a bowl. Lifting the chin ever so slightly so the throat can find more spaciousness, the room to speak, the room to express who we are. As you breathe out, engage your belly, send the strength all the way up, 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 as you drop your back of the head.
Inhale, belly down, heart lifts, cow pose. Exhale, round your whole spine, let the tailbone drop down, cat pose. Let's take a few more rounds just like that, following the rhythm of your own breath. Breathing in to move into cow pose. Breathing out into cat pose. And if one end of the pose feels juicy, feel free to stay there as long as you like. Start to lose yourself in the movement of your own body and the rhythm of your breath. One more round. Inhaling to cow pose. Exhaling to cat pose. Find a neutral position, so in the middle of those two extremes. Back of the head lifting up to the height of your back body. And then start to sit back as if you were going into child's pose, and then swoop the hips out to the side and make a circle with your hips. And this may feel a little bit silly in your body to draw such large circles and to move side to side. See if you can start to release the gaze of other people, to close your eyes, to move through feeling inside your own body. We spend so much time in the othering gaze from other people, maybe even from ourselves, like outside kindness turned back towards ourselves. So in this pose, I invite you to move with abandon, to move as your body moves. Switch the directions of the circles, add your shoulders into it, move like an ocean wave, even if it feels a little silly to start with. Forgetting the gaze of anybody else and starting to listen to the signals of your body. Start to finish up wherever you are, coming back to just the center shape of the tabletop. And then start to walk your fingertips out in front of you, past your shoulders. And we're going to keep the hips high over the knees. And let's start to melt just the upper body down to the mat. And here you can grab your pillow or your blanket to rest the forehead on. Feel the arching of that upper back. Slide the shoulder blades up and away from your ears. Let the forehead be heavy on your pillow, blanket, or mat. And as you breathe deeply in this releasing pose for the shoulders, I'm going to share this poem by Korean poet and professor Lee Herrick.
This is called The Birds Outside My Window Sing During a Pandemic. What we need has always been inside of us. For some, a few poets and farmers, perhaps, it's always near the surface. Others, it's buried. It was in our original design though, pre-machine, pre-border, pre-pandemic. I imagine it like the light one might feel through the body before dying. A warm, calm, a slow breath, a sweet rush. There is by every measure reason for fear, concern, a concert in the balcony of anxiety made of what has also always been inside of us. A kind of knowing that everything could break, but it hasn't yet and probably won't. What I mean to say is I had a daydream and got lost inside of it. There were dozens of birds for some reason who sounded like they were singing in different accents. Shelter in place, you are made of stars and grace, stars and grace, stars and grace. Gently begin to lift your chest, walk your hands back. If you have a blanket on your mat, go ahead and scoot that off. Let's go ahead and grab that pillow again. And this time you're gonna put your pillow horizontally across the top of your mat. And so much of my tension collects in my shoulders and in my upper back. So now we're gonna find a little release. What you're gonna do is, if the pillow that you're using doesn't have a good amount of thickness, you can also take the blanket and stack it on top, okay? You want a good amount of height here. And then you're gonna come onto your belly, so really maybe halfway down the mat. And then as you release down towards the mat, you're gonna take one arm and you're just gonna take the back of the hand and slide it all the way across. And then you're gonna take your other hand and slide it the other way so that your arms are crossed in front of your heart. And then allow your body to gently lower down and soften as much as it feels good. And here you're gonna notice if your pillow has enough height away from the mat. You're also going to notice how it feels to have the arms crossed in this way. And if for whatever reason this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, no worries. You're going to cross instead at the elbows in front of you. And you're gonna bring the backs of the hands to touch or wrap them around your shoulders, okay? You're gently going to lift the elbows high so that the arms form this beautiful L shape. Let gravity do all of the work here. If you are on your bellies, let it release. Let it soften. Closing the eyes if that feels good. And then slowly start to lift yourself back up, and we're going to switch sides. So you're gonna uncross your arms, thread the opposite arm across, and then do the same with the remaining arm. Send the breath into the upper back. Feeling your shoulders peel gently apart
As you breathe in, feel the aliveness of your own body. The breath gently breathing your body. Slowly start to lift your chest, unwind your arms, and you can place your pillow off to the side again. Now we're gonna come up to our feet, and you're gonna have your feet about hip distance apart, bend your knees, and you're gonna drape your upper body all the way forward. To start, either let your arms dangle or hold opposite elbows. And with the softness in the knees, feel the whole upper body spill forward, releasing the back of the head and the neck. Let go of any weight you might be carrying on your shoulders. Let the earth catch it for you. Start to unwind the arms. You're gonna lift up part of the way, and this time send the arms back behind you and either place it to the top of your hips, elbows drawing together, or even interlacing your fingers. Start to reach the arms straight, and then exhale, dive forward and fold one more time. Letting the weight of gravity gently pull the arms up and over the head, or simply draw the elbows towards one another. Take another 2 breaths here. Start to release your arms and bend your knees deeply with a slow roll up to standing, moving as slow as you can go. Sharing the words of Rupi Kaur, the Indian Canadian poet. She writes, "If you were born with the weakness to fall, you were born with the strength to rise." So go ahead and find yourself standing tall to the top of your mat. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes or just drop the gaze for a moment and just feel yourself standing tall. Toes spreading wide, heel rooting to the ground. Feel your length reaching and growing from the earth up towards the sky. And as you feel the power and the stability of your body in this mountain pose, I'm going to share the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. And he writes, "Breathing in, I feel myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Breathing in, I see myself as water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free."
And with a swoop of the inhale, start to sweep your arms all the way up overhead. Feel the lengthening of the sideways, reaching the fingertips with energy to the ceiling or to the sky. Go ahead and press your palms together, and as you breathe out, bring the arms down, hands to the front of your heart. We're gonna move a few more rounds. Inhale, sweep the arms wide out to the side, take up space. Press the palms together. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, reach for either side of your room. Exhale, center in the middle of the heart. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, this time you're gonna bring the arms wide, lean your chest forward as if you were diving forward, and fold all the way over the legs. Okay. Fingertips come down to the mat. Go ahead and take a step back with your left leg, so that you're in a lunge position. Back knee is gonna come down to your mat. Untuck your toes so the top of your foot is releasing to the earth. And then from here, check to see that the front ankle is in line with the knee. Inhale to lift the heart up. Exhale to bring your hands to your thighs and climb all the way up. Tall and long in the chest. Take a couple of breaths here. And starting to reach out the left arm out to the side. Swoop the palm up and overhead, finding a nice long extension. Allowing the hips to draw forward, releasing down, but at the same time hugging the belly in. And slowly exhale, bring the fingertips back down to frame the front of the foot. And here we're gonna walk it into a pigeon pose, okay? We got two options. First one is classic pigeon pose, where you walk your front foot over to the left so that your shin can come down to the mat. This knee is gonna be out to the side, moving towards your right wrist. And you're gonna stay here, either supported by your hands or lowering down to your forearms. Okay. Option to grab a blanket or a pillow and just place that underneath this back glute to help support you. Now, this may not feel comfortable in your body today, and that's okay. You're going to take a reclining pigeon, so you'll just simply sit down, swing the legs out in front, and take that same leg and just cross it across the left leg, lying back, legs drawing towards your chest. And allow your body to soften. Let the breath be slow and deep. And if anything feels uncomfortable, please feel empowered to modify, change it up, make it your own. A couple of more breaths here.
And if you are in that pigeon pose, start to come back to your hands. Go ahead and press back into a tabletop shape. And just kick out that right leg or hip to stretch it out or strengthen however it feels good for you. If you are on your backs, go ahead and just unwind your legs, shake it out for a moment. Send the legs straight up into the air, whatever feels good. And start to make your way into your second side, either taking pigeon with the left shin in front, or reclining back into a reclining pigeon. And here, allow the shoulders to soften, drop them away from your ears. A couple of more breaths here. If you're a pigeon, start to peel yourself up. Send it back into a tabletop position. Stretch out that leg however it feels good. If you're in reclining, go ahead and unwind your legs. And now this will be a fun transition back into that lunge position on the second side. So go ahead and step that left foot forward and send that back right knee a little further back. Knee to floor. Take an inhale to lengthen your chest long. Exhale to bring your hands to the top of the thigh, rise up, chest open, heart open. Inhale to reach the right arm out to the side, flip the palm to the sky, and sweep it across like a rainbow. One more breath here. And slowly release your fingertips down. Step it back into a tabletop position. And now moving for the last few moments in any shape that feels good. You might take a few circles. You might take it into a child's pose, hips onto heels. Let's start to transition into our final shape of today's class. We're going to also end with a meditation, and so you can choose to stay in this shape for the meditation when we get to it, or you could choose to take the props off and take a seat instead. This is your choice. So you're going to take your pillow onto your mat the long ways this time. And if you want a bit of a deeper sort of back bend and opening across the chest, you're going to make your stack as high as you can with your pillow and your blanket. That may not be necessary. okay? And if you want to keep it as is, you're going to take your blanket and you're going to drape it over the end of your pillow. Go ahead and take a seat, bringing the pillow right up to the back of the hips. Get nice and tall, and then start to lean all the way back. Noticing how the pillow and your blanket helps to lift your upper body a little higher than the rest of your hips. Let the arms be heavy by your sides. And you can do anything with the legs that feel comfortable. You can bring the feet wide and the knees together for some support. Usually feels good on the low back. You could also flip it and bring the feet together, bottoms touching, and let the knees fall out to the sides. A little bit more lengthening and opening along the hip and the inner thighs. You could also simply straighten your legs long. And in this final shape today, go ahead and take a deep inhale through your nose. And as you breathe out, let everything go. Eyes can softly close. And with a final few words, this is a poem from Hmong American poet Mai Der Bong. This is called That All, Everyone, Each in Being. Decades I have waited to make sunlight for all of this to matter, a mark built to rest and a mark laid living. I am sworn to my worth even when the scales weep their own little swords, slanting outside the song and full of soothing to speak each vowel. Everything happens towards its own making, an infinite becoming from all that is yet to be faced. When it seemed as though I had touched the arm of love, little did I know I had found a door with which to enter the sky. And to the sky, little did I know the door would open for me, all as it will be, as it should be, in effort of the great balance. 5 days ago, I stood under a flight of regrets, shifting between fenced field of mud and factory yard. What could they have guessed of stability, of fairness of wings, restoring what had always been theirs to have? Like them, I have steeped myself with others for so long, my roots sprouting from the cloud of this fight, daring to follow where the arrow leads until it is my turn. Until now, my turn. And in these last few minutes of today's practice, let your mind be soft. Let your breath be full and natural. Notice the shape and the outline of your body, from the crown of the head to the shoulders, to the toes.
and all in the middle, a divine, breathing, and alive being. Start to tune into one thing that you are proud of. One small thing. Something that lifts you up, lights up your soul. Start to take in all of that nourishment. The essence seems to say, I am here. I am worthy. And I am deserving. With your eyes still softly closed, start to take a little bit of a deeper breath. We are now at the top of the hour, but you can feel free to stay as long as you'd like. If you'd like to wrap up your practice with me today, take a more energizing breath in through your nose and a soft release out. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Start to move in any way that feels good in your body. Maybe bringing the arms overhead and taking a full body stretch. You can take your time to slowly roll over to one side. Rise up to a seat if you'd like. I'm going to come a little bit closer. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you are interested in future events with our practice, more yoga, more focused on racial trauma, the Asian American experience, please go ahead and just let us know. We can keep an eye out for newsletters to come, and we would love to see you again. If you have any questions right now or comments that you want to share, please feel free. We can stick around for maybe a couple more minutes.